What's up, fight fans? It's Squared Circle Productions coming in with a new rant, and this one is called UFC. Bellator is breathing down your neck. Okay, let me just get into it real quick. Just got through watching this little Bellator they had, Bellator event they had on Spike TV here, and I gotta admit, man, they're doing a real good job, man. It was entertaining throughout the whole thing. Want to say kudos to Steve Coker. Those of y'all don't know, Cuz was in Last Dragon. You know what I'm saying? He played the little funny dude, with the personality that was always whoa, But but man, dude, Coker, man, you doing a good job, man, with Bellator. Keep on doing what you're doing, man. I really think y'all really done closed the gap between yourself and UFC. I was going back to the event y'all had with Kimbo Slice against Ken Shamrock. You're getting better and better. And this one coming up here on the 19th, man, is going to be a doozy, man. With the light heavyweight tournament they having. And then they got the light heavyweight championship belt on the line with Tito Ortiz trying to win the Bellator light heavyweight championship. So you know me, man, I'm a root for the OG. But like I said, these guys in Bellator, the mainstays, man, they're holding it down. So it's not gonna be easy. Bobby Lashley's in the mix. It's a lot of good things happening, man, in Bellator. And I just really got to say, man, Steve Coker, you're doing an excellent job, man. Continue to do what you're doing, man. Like I said, man, I like rooting for. I've been watching, I watched Bellator, like, in some of its earlier days, too. You know what I'm saying? Main reason why I got into it was because it's a magazine here in Kansas City called The Pitch Weekly. And they cover like local events and things of that nature. And they did a thing on they did like a 12-page article one week on Bellator, because they had an event down in Kansas City. I think it was like the 17th, Bellator 17 or something like that. They had it down in the area of Kansas City known as the Power and Light District. And it was pretty successful at the time. They talked about how good of a promotion he had going, and it was local guys was competing in it and things of that nature. And to see them come from that to where they are now, it just makes my heart good. You know what I'm saying? Because I tend to lean more towards Bellator and King of the Cage. You know what I'm saying? But Bellator really has closed the gap between themselves and UFC. Not taking nothing away from UFC, but it ain't what it used to be. You don't got all the legends and the stars that you had, 5 years ago. A lot of those guys are gone, and congratulations to Coker for, taking some of these guys and giving them opportunities to, have a second life in Bellator, former UFC guys. Oh yeah, I want to also talk about that. On that card, it was a feel-good story. There's a guy named Justin Wren, and man, he had an amazing story. He was a U.S. national champion in Greco-Roman wrestling, and he was in The Ultimate Fighter. He was also in the UFC for a brief stint, and he got caught up in drugs. And, he just hit a low point, man, and he found the Lord. And he went to Africa, and he joined the Pygmy Village, man. And now he's been fighting to donate money to this Pygmy Village in Africa, man, And he wrote a book, and it says Fighting for the Forgotten. And man, it got to me, man. I'm a big softy when it comes to these type of things, man. Because if you can tell on some of my other rants, I might just deviate from fight sport related events and just talk about life. Like things like is trash talk necessary? Do you have to be poor to be a good or a great fighter? You know, what I talked about on the dad bod, you know, just different subjects like that, man. You know, Super Bowl 49, racial implications, and the addendum. You know, you should check those out, man. You know, I talk about more than just that, because at the end of the day, I believe in mind, body, and soul, or spirit, however you want to look at it. But I believe in those three, man. So, you know, it's not just the physical, it's the mental and the spiritual aspect of the man too. So, you know, you have to have a balance. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we study to fight, but ultimately we want to get to a point to where we don't need to fight. Oh, and another thing about this upcoming Bellator event, it's a co-event. They're doing a joint promotion with Glory Kickboxing, and so in the same arena, they're going to have two rings, and one is going to be an octagon for the Bellator event, and then the other one's going to be a ring for the Glory Kickboxing. So, you know, this is really cool, because if I did a rant a while back, a long time ago, some months ago, called UFC MMA done messed up the game, and it was a long rant. It was very emotional, you know, and it wasn't a diss to MMA. You know, although it may be perceived, and I did have some harsh things to say, but it was just more or less that it seemed like now that UFC, you know, had become so popular that people was acting like boxing and traditional martial arts and things like this are blasé, and they're no longer necessary, and this is just the everything, you know. And I was basically, you know, saying that, you know, there used to be a brotherhood amongst fighters. You know, and it seemed like UFC caused a rift where they act like they were just better than everybody else. And, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, why you gotta just only be an MMA fan? Why can't you be an MMA fan, a wrestling fan, a boxing fan, you know, whatever, karate, kung fu, whatever, you know? I mean, why you can't just be a fan of it all? You know what I'm saying? And there are some people that try to live like they life by that, but then you got others that just try to, like, choose sides, and my side is better than your side, you know. And Steve Coker, the guy that's on Spike TV, they get it, man. They're doing joint promotions. You know, you got PBC, you got Glory Kickboxing, and you got Bellator MMA, and it's called Friday Lights Out. So, you know, they'll have events, and Coker already said that he will allow the Bellator guys to compete in Glory Kickboxing, as well as be on the undercard of some PBC events if they choose to, which I think is really good. You know, I would love to see a day when boxers, or, you know, have more options open to them than just boxing. They could compete in MMA, or they could compete in kickboxing, and vice versa. You know, I'd like to see athletes cross over and be able to win titles in all three organizations. I mean, that's something to shoot for. Why we gotta have all this dissension amongst us? But anyway, like I said, man, I like what you're doing. Keep it up. Looking forward to September 19th. Peace out. One love.